Today we're talking about Adobe Illustrator and basic layout in the program. When you open up the program, you're going to notice that you have a welcome screen here, or a start screen. From here, you can select predefined layouts. Selecting letter will obviously open up a letter document, or you can go up to File, select New, and you can define the measurements yourself. Notice when we have inches right here, the default would be pixels. You select whatever measurement unit you would like. You have some predefined sizes in here, or you can just define the size you want. We're going to stick with a letter format for this demonstration. You can also change the orientation, whether it's tall, wide. You can define how many artboards. Artboards, just as a reminder, are consider an artboard a layout view. So you can have multiple artboards or views and multiple documents within that, so you can work between the two or three or four or whatever, copy and paste between the different documents within the artboards. You can also define the margins, the top, bottom, left and right. You can also change the color mode and define that. CMYK, or cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, is predominantly for a page layout, for a colored separated image. If you're working on web graphics, choose RGB color mode. For now, we're going to stay with the CMYK color model. The rest of these last two, you can just leave as is for this basic example. We're going to click Create, and that's going to create an 8.5:11 document. Now, how do I know it's 8.5:11? There are no measurements indicated here. So if you want to see the rulers, you go up to the View command, and you scroll down to where it says Rulers, and you can say Show Rulers. Once the rulers appear, if you want to have guide marks to guide you around, you just click inside the ruler and drag, and it drags a guide mark. So half of the 8.5:11 page is 4 1/4, so that would be the center of this page. And likewise, you can do the same thing on the top and go down to 5 1/2, and that divides the page into 4 equal spots. And these are just guide marks. They will not print, and they won't save when you save the file if you save it as an image. So there's our basic page layout and design. So let's talk about the tools. Notice that we have tools over here. You can actually change the way these look. So when you open up the program, it may not look exactly like this. So if you go to Window and select Workspace, you can choose between predefined workspaces. So let's choose the Essentials, and notice that the tools change dramatically and only have the essential tools listed here. If we want to change back, we just select Workspace again, and we can say Layout. So these are the tools. Let's talk about a couple of different functions. We have two selection tools. One is a selection tool, one is a direct selection tool. The difference between the two, we have to first create an object, and I'll explain this. Whether it be a predefined shape or creating the shapes yourself, notice that they have little handles on the corners where the lines meet. The direct selection tool, if you click this white arrow and you double click on one of these points, you can move that around and change the shape. But notice that when I do that, there is no fill or anything, so it's not predefined, because the colors right now, when you see this color box for the fill and the line color, when you see the red line, that means that there is no color defined. So to change that, let's change the fill. Select the fill, make sure that's selected, and then the color window over here, when you move into it, notice it changes to an eyedropper. If you just click, it changes the color fill. Now if you want to change the line color, click the line and you do the same thing. Now notice we can't see, even though we change the line color to red, we can't see it because the line is set to one point. So if we select this object and then we go up to, there we go up to the stroke, we can change it from 1 point, let's make it a little larger, say 10 points. So that's the difference between the selection tool and the direct selection tool. Again, you can change the shape. The next two tools I'm going to talk about is the pen tool. So the pen tool allows you to actually create shapes, and we just point and click, and then when we end, we just click on the first point that we did, and that's going to close the shape. So it's going to fill with the same colors that we used for this other shape here. So if you wanted to change the color, again, select the fill color, and we can just change it. And a line color, same thing. Notice its little handles down here in the shapes. If we click on that, there are other shapes that we could have created. So if we wanted to do an ellipse, just select that. That's a quick and easy way to create shapes. So those are some basic drawing and shape tools that we can use. If we wanted to type text, obviously you click the text tool and we can type along, and there's our text. We can change the font and the style by just highlighting it, as you would in any other Adobe application. So that's our basic introduction to Adobe Illustrator and some simple tools to get you started. If you want to learn more, specifically how to convert raster graphics to vector shapes, select this link to view a more in-depth tutorial on that process.